Well, the chaplet is just the way of receiving mercy, because he is saying that the hour of mercy, that means exactly he is pointing to the content where the mercy was fully born, when the sacrifice has been completed, when he took the cross, he went through all the suffering, starting praying in the Garden of Gethsemane, when he already, as God, he saw already all the sufferings. We as people, we just don't know what the beating or whatever is going. And he saw front of the things before they started to take place. He saw all, as a God, knowing everything, he saw all the things which were going to happen. That's why he was sweating in the Garden of Gethsemane when he was praying that night before he was arrested. That's why he said, Father, if it is possible, take this chalice away. The chalice in which he saw, like the filled chalice of suffering. Everything was there. But still he said, but let your will be done. So I am ready to take it. But I am just telling you how horrible, how great suffering it is to see before even happened. And then, of course, the way which happened everything. That's why sometimes people say it's such a book about the apparition and many other things in Akito in Japan, when Our Lady appearing to Sister Agnes, and also the chapel getting filled with light, always coming from the tabernaculum and so on. Our Lady passed to her 3 messages, and especially the third one, which is saying what is going to happen if people are not going to turn to God. That is going to be great. Many people are going to die. Many terrible disasters are going to be, and so on. But he says that there are also people who are going to survive. The message is saying they are going to say that they would prefer to die with all the others than to see now the whole sufferings and be witnesses of it. Because, and Jesus saw that before he entered into that suffering, and then during that time. So even we would say, well, better I would not be the witness of these things which happen, because they are giving so much pain. Let us say parents, car accident. Sometimes I hear this, it's better if I would go together with the others, because now I have to suffer with full conscience again. That's what means this sacrifice. And that's where he is ready to give that things which he calls mercy, gives ransom is the word which is ransom, it means payment, isn't it? So he made the ransom of his own life. That was the payment for our sins, for human sins. And we can go over again and again and still be receiving the grace whenever. Well, the novena is another way of taking advantage of Jesus' mercy. That Jesus left some tangible ways through which the mercy can come to people. And novena is another one, when he is saying, you will bring to me during 9 days, every day, different group of people. We could look at the beginning, what Jesus is saying, Novena to the Divine Mercy, which Jesus instructed me to write down and make before the Feast of Mercy. Instructed, gave her complete knowledge about the novena. And here he is saying clearly, I desire that during these 9 days you bring souls to the font of my mercy, that they may draw their form, strength and refreshment, and whatever graces they need in the hardships of life, and especially at the hour of death. So he is giving for that purpose. Not only for purpose during while we live, but at the last moment of our life here on earth. It means already people who go to heaven. On each day you will bring to my heart a different group of souls. He says souls because he knows that that's what eventually makes the part of ourselves which is going to be always living. So what we say that we are philosophically and theologically, that person is body and soul. And body is material and soul is spiritual, which is not dying. And I personally had experienced that when my father was ill, I was already getting first the diaconate ordination. And that was during the Lent time before Easter. And at that time, first time, my father was not present at any situation in my life when something was happening that parents were coming. And I learned that he is not well. And it was March probably, or beginning of April on that year. And he died, my father, in July. And it was night from Wednesday to Thursday. But on Thursday there was a special mass in the cathedral always on the Blessed Sacrament. And I prepared everything in the cathedral, and the Monsignor who came to say the Mass, he knew my parents very well, because he was the parish priest in our place for quite a long time before the war. And he knew about my father's illness, and he said, how is father? I said, well, it's not good. But I still didn't know. And he said, do you have afternoon free? I said, yes. So could you maybe come to my parish? There is nice orchard and lot of fruits and so on, so you will... And he gave me money to go and buy the tickets. And I left the seminary, and he said, you come back and then we will go together. And when I left the seminary, I moved only maybe 500 meters, and a postman was coming. And I just looked at him, and seeing me, he stopped. And I said, where are you going? To the seminary. And unfortunately, not happy one. I said, whom to? And he said my name. And I opened the telegram from Mom, who said, come, father died 4 o'clock after midnight. And then I realized that night, because I was woken, and I suddenly felt that somebody is in my room. And like a little misty appeared my father, who called me by his name in a diminutive way, as he usually said, not Henrik or Henry, but Henu. And he spent maybe a minute with a smile, and I knew. And I looked at my watch. It was 4 o'clock after midnight. And when I got the telegraph, and Mom is saying that come because his father died 4 o'clock after midnight, I just went to the priest and said what has happened. But I only wanted to tell you that was certainly was his soul, you know? And I always see that image. So that's why here, if we only go, on each day you will bring to my heart different group of souls. It is really Jesus is saying souls because he would like to tell us that the souls are most important, because the souls will go still living. And where they are going to live now? They will live in the best place, which is heaven. And this is why, and immerse them in this ocean of my mercy. And I will bring all these souls into the house of my Father. It's a very clear word, house. He is using language which is understandable here on earth. House, we know that is something very precious. House of my Father, and clearly saying that not just any house, but house of my Father. You will do this in this life and in the next. So he's clearly saying, he's talking about this life and the next, because the soul is the same being. I will deny nothing to any soul whom you will bring to the font of my mercy. Nothing. You will get everything by the mere fact that somebody else, even if the person may not make these steps him or herself, but is brought by somebody else. That is why in the Catholic Church, prayers probably everywhere, but especially in the Catholic Church, prayers are so important for others. That's why, for instance, people and in some countries still more than others, then when is this November begins, the day they are asking for masses to be celebrated on behalf of some of their relatives and so on and so on. Because that's what Jesus is saying, that I will deny nothing to any soul whom you, Faustina, whom you, and everybody whom you take, that they will understand the novena, that you will bring to the font. Somebody must make the step. This is why, for instance, Sister Faustina, if I will connect these ones, Sister Faustina was talking about that she has been taken to purgatory. When, for instance, now, almost even in the church, people don't like to hear about purgatory, or even they think that it doesn't exist, you know. And Sister Faustina said to Jesus on one occasion, what else would you like me that I should pray? And he said, tomorrow you will learn what else you should pray for. And she was taken to purgatory. And she saw the souls who are still in purgatory. And this is one of the 9 group of people to be brought, is also people in purgatory.